Welcome back to Collector versus Creators podcast. I'm JG Collects. As you can see, I got my statues here. And also, who those who've been watching me, I have been on a little hiatus. I have been doing a little traveling, been dealing with some health issues. And before I get into anything else, I want to say, if you're dealing with something, if you're going through it with health or anything, please go get checked out. You're not above this. It will affect you and you will pay for it in the long run, like I'm doing myself. So with all that being said, please go get checked out and make sure y'all like this video, comment, subscribe. I'm not about to say this every video. Y'all know the drill at this point. So with that, I would like to introduce my guest coming all the way from Columbus, Ohio. She is a vegan chef. I know, it's crazy, right? Vegan chef. We have a cosplayer. Give it up for Miss Maki.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Hey, how y'all doing? You came in all solid and stuff.
I feel so professional. It's Maki.
Hey. So how you been enjoying the city so far?
I've loved yesterday. We went on a boat ride and we got to see a little bit of downtown. Y'all's buildings are a lot larger than ours in Columbus, Ohio. So it's a different vibe. I like it.
Yeah, like what kind of vibe?
Yeah, you know, y'all all right.
I mean, we try. So now, how long have you been a chef for?
I've always been cooking. I professionally, I went to culinary school about like 6 years ago, and I didn't know what I wanted to do like in life. I was going to school for nursing, and I had the heart for it, but then I got kind of bored. So my family was just like, "You're always cooking. Why don't you go to culinary school?" And I was like, "I'll give it a try." So I did, and I absolutely loved it. It was the first time I actually loved going to school.
Wow, I never thought I'd hear that sentence. But you gave up nursing. That's a field that I don't know if I would have got into it. I would have gave it up. I seen what they're giving out, but you know, you're doing what you love. So did you start off being a vegan chef, or did that something that happened later on down the road?
No, so I was just making all types of cuisine, Mexican, Asian, Caribbean. I just love food, and I love all cultures of people and food. And I recently became vegan back in June, just learning, you know, the truth about meats and, you know, all the chemicals that they're putting in our food and how it's causing everyone to have health issues, such as yourself is speaking on that. I wanted to change that. So I was like, if I'm going to change that, I need to change it with myself first before I try to do it on other people, so that I can make sure that what I'm doing is correct and, you know, error free. I don't want to be using ingredients that are harmful. So I had to get the knowledge and behind that and try and see how I felt eating this stuff. And then I was just like, all right, well, now I can bring this to the public, and I want to basically be a healer, not a chef.
I like that. So how was that transition though?
It was actually fun because I did it in stages. Like I stopped eating red meat first, and then I was eating chicken, turkey, fish, and then I stopped eating the chicken and turkey, and then it was only fish. And then at that point, I was just like, let's just dive in. And I just started eating just nothing but vegetables. And then I learned that how soy is harmful. So then I stopped eating the soy. But I'm still learning, still growing, still evolving and adjusting. But it's a beautiful experience. I feel amazing. I feel younger than I did when I was 21. So it's doing something right.
It must be, because a lot of us, we grew up, we didn't have that knowledge. I'm not even going to say access, because it's more of knowledge to like make that transition, or wanting to, because certain foods are hard to give up. I love steak and chicken. That's a fan favorite.
I know. I hear you. I loved chicken too, but once you get in your groove and you start eating your mushrooms and your jackfruit, you start to realize like they put things into the meat and other things to make you addicted to eating them. So mentally you think that you love chicken, but really you're just addicted to the chemicals that they're putting in the chicken. And once you start changing up your diet and you start eating mushrooms and jackfruit and stuff, you're like, I really don't need meat. You know, if you think about it, we season our meat with vegetables and herbs anyway. So we use those things to make the meat taste good. So it's just all like a mental thing.
That's an interesting perspective of that. I never looked at it from that angle. Now, have you done like events and stuff from when you first started doing the meat to now being a vegan chef?
Yeah, so I started doing like pop-ups around my city where I would dress up in the cosplay and serve my anime inspired food at different venues, and people loved it. They were entertained by it. They was just like, you really just travel around the city just wearing these costumes? I'm like, yeah, I also go out and to ramen shops and eat in my costumes as well. I do everything in cosplay.
Yeah, I seen that on your story. I like, damn, you got mad respect for that because not too many people are going to do that. I know people were looking like, man, what the fuck? Like, yo, who is this goofy and this?
People who don't watch anime, they think I'm weird and crazy, but people who do, they're like, oh my gosh, Rock Lee. They get so excited, but people who don't, they're like, yeah, she's weird.
Who's your favorite cosplay?
My favorite cosplay, I'm going to have to go with, obviously, Kimberly. This was my first time doing Kimberly, and I actually love her vibes. I love the Walkman. I'm always listening to music, and she has like this very like African culture about her. I love Afrobeats, so she's definitely my vibe. So it's between her and I would say Yurdarichi. She was my number one for a long time, but Kimberly came through like, it's a tie.
Now, Kimberly is definitely cheese on Street Fighter. Everybody they just spam. Like, I can't stand it though. Now, do you play Street Fighter too?
I am not a big gamer. I watch more so anime than actually gaming. But I'm actually getting into gaming. Me and my roommate, we play Ninja Storm and stuff all the time. So I do like gaming. I'm just probably because I'm not that great at it. That's probably why I don't like it as much. But if I played more, I would be better at it.
Now, for your chef ventures, do you plan on expanding on that? Do you want to do a cookbook or anything for those who are interested in trying to figure out different recipes, different ways to like, go eat chicken and all that?
A lot of people ask me to do a cookbook. I never saw myself doing a cookbook, but my perspective changed that, people's issue with trying to eat healthy is that they don't really know how to. And when they hear vegan, they're like, oh no, we don't want to do that because they're used to eating what they're used to eating. And when they go to these vegan restaurants, a lot of restaurants are very bland. They don't season
just
the
experience
vegetables.
That.
They just be like, here's your tofu. And, tofu is not that great and it's not good for you. So that makes people shy away from trying vegan food and trying to cook it at home. It's just overwhelming. So I was like, man, maybe I should try to create a cookbook of like easy recipes that can help people get started on their journey.
Now, are you going to make it like anime inspired?
Oh,
make
definitely.
It fun?
Definitely, because I get inspired by anime characters and gaming characters when I'm creating. I don't really just be like, think of something and just create. I have to like put a character in mind and build around it. Like, for instance, I have an item on my menu called Itachi Hibachi.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought the name was cute, but I was like, okay, how can I really bring this to life with it being about Itachi? So I made like a katsuki rice, and then it comes with amaretto sauce, which is a black smoky chipotle sauce that has activated charcoal in it. Oh. And his amaterasu is like ash. So I was like, that's perfect. The charcoal, and then it's like a black smoky garlic sauce. And then it brings in his like smokiness to his power. So I was like, it has to make sense for that character's powers and abilities. And I just build around that. I do that with every dish.
The creativity is definitely on point. How long does it take you to like actually, one, figure out what you want to do and to put into action?
I don't really know. I don't really put a time stamp on anything. I just find a character and then I want to make something for that character. And I just look at their abilities and just kind of go from there and just piece it together on my notepad on my phone. And then I will look up basic recipes online that kind of goes with what I'm trying to create. And then I'll tweak it with ingredients that goes with the character. I don't know, it's weird.
Now, another thing that scares people away from like the vegan options and like the healthier way is a little bit more expensive. Do you think that's a myth? Do you think there's some truth to that? Do you have any suggestions?
There is truth to it. It is expensive. Like when I first, at the beginning, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so expensive to eat healthy. But they do that on purpose because they don't want us to eat healthy. They want to keep us sick. They want to keep us in the hospital so they can continue to make money off of us. And I feel like there's ways to get around making it affordable. It's just getting out of like being codependent on the simpler sauces and stuff that they create in the store. Like start making your own from scratch is what I found to be the most cheapest way to eat vegan, is make your own sauces and things from scratch and cut out all that extra stuff, because a lot of the vegan sauces and sausages and stuff that they have at the store is packed with unhealthy stuff in it too. I think I've heard a video where they had human meat in the vegan sausages and hot dogs. So, yeah, you got to be careful with some of this vegan stuff out there. Not all of it's safe.
I don't know how true that is, but that's one of them things. Let's hope that's not true. Now, you're a big anime fan. How has anime been a part of your life since your childhood, or is it something you get into later on in life?
I actually got into anime when I was in like my mid-20s. But it's always been around me because my brothers would watch DBZ and they were really mean. They would kick me out of their room, but my brother was always running around the house, blasting me in the hallway with Kamehameha waves. So, and he had, Pokemon cards, DBZ cards, all that stuff. So it was always around me, but I didn't get into it until I was like 23.
So you're a super late bloomer into this.
Super
That's
late.
Crazy. I know it's like as enthusiastic as you are, you would thought you would have grew into it, but
Yeah.
that's dope that later on in life you caught on to it. What was your first anime that got you into it?
I actually watched Attack on Titan and DBZ.
Let's go.
DBZ first. And I already seen pieces of DBZ, so I was already familiar with that one. But Attack on Titan did grab my attention because it was similar to like The Walking Dead, similar but not exact.
That's a wild concept.
Yeah.
Like, what?
And I think that's what made me want to watch it. I was like, oh, this is similar to Walking Dead, because I used to love Walking Dead. But
No, explain that comparison, because I've never heard that one.
Because it's something eating something. I don't know. I know they're not alike, but that was just my perspective on it at the time. But after I watched the anime, I'm like, okay, they're different, but it was what grasped me. It was like I thought it was going to be about zombies or something, but it wasn't.
Nah, definitely far from it. Man, that was a wild take on that. I'm about to put that one on the notepad. So what got you into cosplaying?
So like a couple of years ago, when I started making my anime inspired food, people cared very little for it. I don't think I had the right audience on my social media platform. They were like, what is she doing? Like, we don't care about this stuff. And it was my birthday, so I did like a photo shoot of like sexy harem. I found this like outfit that like, it was like clouds. And I seen it online and I was just like, that looks like sexy harem. And I was like, I'm going to I didn't know what cosplay was, but I was like, I'm going to wear that. And then I was just like, I'm going to do this for my birthday shoot. And I got the little wig with the blonde ponytails and got my makeup done with the whiskers. And then people was just like, oh, that's really, really cool. That's really dope. And there was a girl that had the same name as me. She hit me up and was just like, oh, I love your sexy harem jutsu cosplay. I was like, cosplay? What's cosplay? And she was just like, yeah, I'm a cosplayer. I do this all the time. And she's like, cosplay is when you wear costumes of the characters. I'm like, okay. But we end up hanging out and she showed me like all her little costumes and stuff. And then I started buying more. I didn't really know how to piece things together. And she kind of like gave me some tips. And then I started like doing other characters, and I was like, I should incorporate this with my anime inspired food. I should start cooking in the cosplay. And that's when people really started to care about what I was doing, because I was just like, oh wow, that's dope. It was like all I needed was the cosplay community's approval to care about my food.
Wow. I mean, honestly, you don't need nobody's approval, but it does help. It does help. So like, what events have you done besides, your pop-up food events that you cosplay?
2 years ago, I did cook for MasseriCon's staff, and that was pretty huge because it was like a whole entire weekend where I had to cook them lunch and dinner on a Friday, breakfast, lunch, and dinner on a Saturday, and then breakfast and lunch on a Sunday. And it was for like 300 staff members. And I didn't get no sleep that
I
weekend.
bet.
They gave me free tickets to the con and I didn't even get to go. It was sad. But I
Ah,
enjoyed because like most of the staff was in cosplay, so they came down in their costumes. I was like, well, I got something out of it.
I mean, did you at least flip the tickets?
Um, no, I gave it to my friends that was helping me
Okay.
with the event. They did get to go enjoy, but like I had like scheduled breaks in between serving the food, but during those scheduled breaks, I had to go and clean up and then prepare the next meal. So it really wasn't a break. So during that time, I let my friends go enjoy the con because they were helping me serve the guests. So they deserve to go see it.
When was your first con?
My first con was, I think, Ohio Con.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah, that one's coming up. It's like usually end of January, beginning of February. And it's at the Columbus Greater Convention Center, same as MasseriCon.
Okay. Damn, they have a lot of cons in that building.
Yeah, I mean, that's our only space to have it is the convention center. We don't really have, Ohio's pretty small.
I don't know about that. They got a lot in Ohio. Now, from the time you started cosplaying up until now, have you seen a difference in that community?
I have, in the beginning, I didn't really know my way in cosplay, and I felt like I got pushed into a community that was very like highly sexualized. And, a lot of the cosplayers were wearing like skimpier costumes and they were having OnlyFans. And I just thought that that's what we were supposed to do. And I got kind of like sucked into that hole of just provocative cosplay. And it just got to a point where I was just like, why are we doing all this? Like this is supposed to be fun. There's kids on these platforms that love these characters and we don't want to be pushing that energy on the kids. It's just not right.
Now, how long did it take you to come to that realization?
I would say it took me a year, because when I first got into cosplay, on TikTok, I started blowing up really, really fast. And I just got so caught up in that, like, oh, wow, I'm really popular now. I got all these followers. I got all these fans. They love what I do. I got to keep doing this type of stuff. And then it got to a point where it's like, is this really healthy? I don't really like putting myself out there like that. So why am I doing it? Why am I following what, the majority of everyone else is doing? Why don't I just be me and do me and what makes me comfortable? And I even had my little sister tell me, like, she's like, I saw that video that you made on Facebook. She was like, it was so cringe. I was like, ouch.
Yes, it's tough when the fam sees it.
Yeah.
Man. So like when you were doing that stuff, if you would have got some type of financial compensation from that, would it have blinded you and keep doing that, or would you have still stood on your morals?
Well, that's what happened. I did start making financials from it because I was doing like OnlyFans and stuff. And, I was just like, this really isn't worth it because it's making me go outside of who I am and do something that I really don't want to do. And for what? For, people who like seeing this content that I'm never going to meet in real life. And it's not right. It's just sexualizing women. And these men should not want to see women of color in that light. It's just toxic.
Now, I feel like it's a two-way street when you talk about that because a lot of women of color, they are willing participants and don't mind profit off of it because it's just not just the men that's the problem.
Oh, yeah,
too.
absolutely. It's both sides because even a lot of the women that do cosplay, and they refer to their fans as simps,
Yeah.
which I don't like that term. I don't think that's right. To put down these men that are fanning over you and just belittle them. I've even had some guy friends who were, fanning over a couple of cosplay girls, and he actually like really liked the girl, and she kind of just used him for his money and preyed on his emotions and just wanted money from him and treated him like he was a simp. And I was just like, when it gets to a point where we're really just losing sight of morals and just mistreating and abusing and using people, it's just like, bro, this is not cool. Like something has to change.
That's the other side of it that people don't want to talk about, especially when it's the female aspect too. It's always the men. Both sides ain't right at the end of the day. like I'm a fair person. I'll give equal blame where it's deserved.
Oh, yes, definitely equal blame on both sides. But I feel like as a people, have to change. And if I have to be the first woman of color cosplayer to speak out on that and to want to change that, I will be. I will make an example of myself, because what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And we got to do better as a people, as a community. I don't like seeing us in that negative light. I feel like we are very creative, and we don't have to sexualize things to just show how dope and cool we are.
Now, you went from being, I forgot what it was. I know one was Maki Made Cafe, and then the other was...
the first name I had on social media was I Like Food Force. And that was just like an inspiration of Naruto, the I Like Shinobi Force, where he brought everyone together during the war. And I was just like, I wanted to team up with different chefs and put creativity into the food that's anime and gaming inspired, and kind of have like that alliance. Then I changed it to Maki Made Cafe, because I was just like, well, I kind of want a maid cafe where me and girls dress up in costumes, and then we like serve and do different themes. But until I have a restaurant, I can't really do these concepts. So I was just like, I'll just wait. So now I'm just Maki.
So now, when your followers who were originally following you for the provocative content, has that changed? Have you seen a dip in that? Do people still mess with you?
So I actually deactivated all of my pages that had the higher followings, because I was just like, that crowd of followers are expecting that type of content that I used to make, and I don't do that anymore. So I was just like, it's just toxic energy manifesting on those pages. So I just deactivated them, and then I just kept my chef pages, and everyone was looking for all my old social media, and then they even messaged me like, where's Maki, which was my formal name.
That's the one I couldn't remember what it was.
I was like, she's gone. She's never come back. Get over it. But a lot of them were okay with it. They were just like, you know what, we love you no matter what you're doing. We just like watching your content. And, you know, some of them just unfollowed, and, you know, that's fine.
That's dope that you got that type of support around you, because some people, when they try to do different things, everybody like, man, you're boring now. We don't even want to follow you. I ain't going to do this. All right, we'll find the next one.
I think that's what a lot of the cosplayers feel like, fear is that they built up their platform doing that type of content, and if they switch up, they're going to lose their audience. And I'm like, the bigger picture to me is, I don't care about losing an audience. I care about making content that I love creating, and you will find the right crowd for it. You know, that's just how I feel about it.
Sure, there's something for everybody. And, you know, it's always nice to go out your lane every once in a while. It all depends on what you want in life.
Yeah, it's the best. I mean, that's how we learn. That's how we learn and grow.
Yeah, no doubt. So what's your favorite anime to watch now?
Well, you see the tattoo. Naruto will forever and always be my favorite anime.
Oh, you got him with the swing.
That's actually why my name is Maki, because a friend of mine, Chef Hiro, kept calling me Uzumaki because I was so obsessed with Naruto. And before I even like really started making cooking and cosplay content, I didn't know what to call myself on social media. So I was just like, you know, my name is Destiny. He's always calling me Uzumaki. I love Naruto, so let me just fuse those together, and that's how Desmaki happened. But now I just go by Maki.
So what's your like top 5 anime that have you seen since you started till now?
Definitely Naruto's number 1, Bleach is number 2, and then Food Wars number 3.
Food. I mean, it's your list. 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 Let me chill. Let me chill. It's your list.
Chill. See how you try to pop off on me, y'all? All right. And then DBZ is number 4. And number 5, Hunter x Hunter.
Interesting list. Interesting list.
I mean, it could change later, but I love Demon Slayer and stuff, but I just feel like, I don't know. I just like the storylines on these animes. Some animes are just glamorous and pretty to look at and really cool, but
Demon Slayer.
I like storylines that actually have meaning to them that I can apply to my real life. I know everybody's like, One Piece is that anime. I'm like, I just don't like pirates and cowboy stuff. So Cowboy Bebop and One Piece, it's hard for me to watch.
Whoa, wait. I was with you with the One Piece, and then like, did you just say Cowboy Bebop?
It's Cowboy cowboy stuff. I don't know.
Get out. I'm wow.
Maybe I'll give it another try one day, but I tried One Piece like 3 times, and then next thing you know, I'll be like scrolling on my phone. I'm like, wait, I'm supposed to be watching One Piece. It just does not grasp my attention.
I'm sorry, y'all. I ain't know. I'm sorry. I ain't know. Like, she was all good. She was all good with the One Piece. I was with her. Y'all know I'm on the One Piece trash movement right now.
Oh my gosh.
But when you cowboy beat, to each their own. But you were about to ask me.
I am who I am.
Now, what would you put as a phony goat? Like top 5 phony goats, people that think they're the ghosts, but they're really not.
People that think they're the goat, but really not.
Yeah, shows that they're ghosts, like One Piece. That's not the goat. Oh, I was about to go on my list.
My hero, I just feel like people try to compare that to Naruto, and I'm like, it's a no. Deku whines so much and is so annoying and cringe. I just couldn't watch My Hero. I was like, I'm tired of this kid. He's crying too much.
The disrespect.
Oh, you're a My Hero fan? I'm just striking out with him, guys. I'm trying here.
Wow. All right, keep going. That was one. I just want to see how the disrespect just.
I don't really. Okay, Chainsaw Man. People are riding Chainsaw Man so hard. I'm like, yeah, it's a cool anime, but it's just like all the newer animes, I just feel like they just make them look so shiny and flashy and vibrant, and people just get lost in that. They just think it's really cool. Like, even when I go to the cons and cosplay, that's all I saw last year was Chainsaw Man.
Yeah,
Chainsaw Man.
The hype
I'm like, I'm so tired of seeing that, bro. I was dressed up as Kurama from Naruto. Like, I was like in a full orange bodysuit. I had the real actual 9 tails, like, and they were huge. And that thing was heavy. And they didn't care. They didn't care about me at all. All they cared about was Chainsaw Man.
This sounds personal, but
it was.
You got 3 more to go, because this list is just like, wow, this is, man. I can't wait to see the dislike ratio, but 3 more.
I don't want to diss no more. I feel like you're trying to get me skewered by your followers.
Oh, trust me, my list is going to aggravate everybody, especially you. But I have reasons for it.
I don't really have any more diss. That was it. I don't have no more diss, because all the other animes that's out there, I feel like for me, are just filler episodes. They're just filler animes, because the main course is the DBZ, the Naruto, the Bleach.
You know Naruto and Bleach have the most fillers.
Yeah, but at least their fillers are entertaining.
To a certain extent. Because, like, those two, as much as I love Naruto and Bleach, and, like, I'm a diehard Naruto fan. I even got you see the hoodie.
So don't act like you ain't on the team.
I don't, but I have to put it in that phony goat category, because, yeah, the fillers, when Naruto, when he was a child, that first one, how after the Sasuke fight, 90 episodes of filler after that.
It was character development. That is my excuse, and I'm sticking with it.
Nah.
Character development.
Shippuden, great. Terrible pacing. The Ninja War, that was under-delivered so badly.
But to be fair, Naruto has a lot of amazing characters on the show. So I feel like their filler is kind of like showing like backstories to a lot of those characters. Which, if you compare Naruto to other animes, like DBZ, for instance, you can't really have too much filler on there, because they don't really have a lot of character development on DBZ. It's just them fighting.
Vegeta might have had one of the greatest character developments of all time.
He just likes to fight. Goku just likes to fight. And then he'd be friends with his enemies afterwards.
I mean, that's men, though. That's what we do. We fight, we be cool.
But Naruto, they have like a war going on. They have villages. They have, characters on there that have been through some traumatizing things from their childhood. And I feel like that anime is more relatable to, like, everyone can find a character on there that they relate to. Out of all the animes that you've watched, you come on, let's be real.
That's true. Like, Rock Lee, I definitely relate to him. But Naruto with the talk no jutsu to his, oh my God, bro, be over there just.
But that's what I love about him, is that, he could, kill someone if he wanted to. He's strong. He's one of the strongest characters on the show. So, but he's choosing not to. And I think that's a lesson that we all need to learn as people in the world, is that you can talk about things and not have to retaliate to violence every time. And we've all been through things in life that have molded us to be how we are. And just talking about things of like mixing different cultures and let's talking about the root of the problem, then it can be resolved.
With all that being said, Deku does the same thing.
But he cries about it while he's doing it, and that's annoying.
So Naruto doesn't cry?
He cries. His cries are valid because he only cries when someone that he cares about really gets hurt. And he's just not crying just constantly every single fight.
Deku does. You have to see the latest season. Deku, like, he became valid. Like, I will stand.
But is he still crying in this latest season?
No.
Naruto grew out of the crying, though.
One episode at the end, but it was valid, though. It was valid.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely valid.
It's still no for me. You're not selling me on this.
It's crazy. Only thing about My Hero, it's like X-Men. It's like a toned down X-Men for kids.
Okay. I mean, I do like the bunny girl. What's her name?
No, it's not Mirror.
Look, he's supposed to be a true fan.
I don't care about all the sad characters. That's a sad character.
The bunny girl?
Yes.
She's sad?
She is a sad character.
Why?
She is a sad. I mean, they only really showed her in the last season, for real. I mean, her fight was good.
I was going to watch it just for her because she reminds me of Yodorichi. She's like a bunny version of Yodorichi. No?
That's valid.
Okay.
That's valid. That's valid. And then Bleach, the biggest problem I have with Bleach is that Bount saga.
Yeah, that was pointless. They could have deleted that.
They killed it with that, and then some of their arcs were definitely terrible.
Well, did you watch the live Bleach on Netflix?
It was okay.
It was good. I thought it was good. I was actually hoping that they would make a part 2 to that, of Waco Mundo. I thought that would be cool.
That would be. Have you seen the live action of One Piece?
No, because I didn't watch One Piece. Would you stop taunting me with this?
No, One Piece is garbage. I'm just asking live.
So my roommate watches it, and I do kind of see bits and pieces of it. I'd be cleaning the house, and I'm like, oh, he's watching that crap again. You know?
What about Full Metal Alchemist? Have you seen that?
I've seen a few episodes of it, but
nah, you gotta watch.
I'm getting scared, guys. I'm gonna get off this podcast. He's getting angry with me.
You gotta watch Brotherhood because that one is very deep.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta check out that, and you gotta check out this one called Psychopaths.
Never heard of that one.
So in Psychopaths, it's in this world where they determine everything from you being a criminal, where you are in life, by your stress levels.
Oh, that's interesting.
So the more stressed you are, the more of a criminal you become.
Oh.
And then the guns on there, when they shoot you with them, they can blow you to bits. And they probably have one of the most complex villains of all time I've ever seen, dude named Makishima.
That sounds like realistic to real life, you know?
Yes.
We all run around here stressed out. And
it's a crazy concept because I could see something like that in a different manner. And then there was something in that was very interesting because there was a point where this one woman was getting beat in the middle of the street.
Oh my gosh.
Nobody wanted to help her because they were worried about their crime coefficient going up, their stress levels.
Oh wow.
So they just all walked past her, and I'm like,
that's very realistic because when things like that do happen in real life, people kind of just
sit there
close
and
their curtain or sit there and record, or they just be like, I'm gonna mind my business. I don't want to get involved because I don't want nothing to happen to me too.
Or they'll be stopping no, stop, don't do it.
I honestly believe that a lot of these animes have a lot of realistic things in it that we can relate to in real life. Just like people are always saying, The Simpsons is showing us what's going to happen. They're predicting the future. I'm like, well, these animes kind of do too. If you really pay attention to these stories like Attack on Titan and Naruto, especially Naruto, if you're watching Boruto, the aliens coming down, I'm like, we're kind of dealing with that right now.
Wait, slow down. You actually watch Boruto?
Just for Naruto purposes. I watch it to see Naruto. Do I like Boruto? Not really, no, because it's completely different. The kids on there are spoiled and privileged, and they're not really struggling. They're not eating instant ramen. They're eating burgers.
Bro, killed me. Oh my God, my dad. He's busy. I'm like, what does this sound like? They don't do nothing. Yeah, I know. It's just it's crazy though. And then it's just it's wild to see the influence on anime from when I started watching it as a kid to now. How back when I was a kid, we could freely watch it. Nobody really cared.
Yeah.
I used to actually make money off of anime by selling like tapes to people who didn't have cable and whatnot.
What?
Yeah, like that was one of my
He's just
first.
hustling?
That was one of my
How
first.
old were you?
I was like 9 or 10. I was in middle school. I've always been like somebody who found a way to get money though, and it led to nefarious things. But we won't get into that. But like with that came a different era. Cause like before Dragon Ball wasn't really mainstream until like I got into high school, and then like now these little kids, they get bullied and picked on for watching anime, which is crazy. And then the era before me, when Dragon Ball and all that broke out to mainstream, everybody was okay with it. You see artists, music, celebrities interpret it. Like you got the last Stylebender in UFC. He does something after every victory from anime, which is pretty dope. Where do you think anime could eventually lead to?
I think that anime teaches us a lot of lessons that we need to apply to our real lives, especially Naruto. Hey, Naruto is just that anime, guys. I'm sorry. There's so many lessons that you can be taught just from watching them. You're like, dang, I feel that. So I see anime just manifesting into, I don't know, I feel like kids even watch it with their parents, even watch it with their kids now. Like I always run into people all the time when I'm out in cosplay, or they see my tattoos and they're like, oh, my kid watches that and I watch it with my kid. So now people that are older than even us are watching it now with their kids and teenagers and stuff. And so I feel like it's for everybody. It doesn't really have a culture or an age tied to it. I feel like anime is for everybody.
I don't know, from what I've seen from the cosplay community, because my daughter cosplays, I wasn't really hip to it until like a few years ago. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing what she was going through, especially when it comes to the melanated cosplay community. That if you cosplay as a certain character, you get that little stigma. Oh, they're not that color, that dumb stuff.
I got a lot of backlash on TikTok and stuff when I was blowing up and going viral. When I would do like characters like Hinata, they would be like, Hinata's not black or Shinobu's not black. And that's why they came out with the song that, Hinata isn't black, but she's going to be black today. So, bless black people. We always find a joke to everything. But honestly, deep down, it is hurtful because it's just like every time that, we as colored people try to do something that we like, it's always a problem to another crowd of people. And it's just like, these are just characters, and it's called cosplay. So you're just putting on the costume, and like a kid, you're just having your own imagination. No one told y'all that you can't be Superman because he's white when you guys were putting on t-shirts on the back of your shirt acting like Superman flying around the house. And it's just like, bro, cosplay is for everybody. And I think people get lost in thinking that you have to look exactly like the character, but in reality, you're supposed to put your own spin on things. That's what cosplay is all about, having fun with it. And because if we all cosplay the exact same way, it gets boring. But if you pick out a character and you're like, well, I'm going to tweak this, that, and the other, it's unique to yourself and it stands out. And people are like, oh, wow, I like the way you did that. And I feel like that's where the cosplay community is supposed to be going. But people just like to nitpick and want it to be how they want it.
Yeah, it's crazy because I found out recently that the cosplay community, man, it's kind of weird. I'm gonna be real, because like I was in an anime for at Columbus. I was a Kisuke. Mm-hmm. So I had a regular sword with me, and he usually carries the cane or whatnot. So I'm just walking, minding my own business, looking for another business owner to talk to. Some dude just comes up to me, glasses and all. This is like a real trope with people with glasses. He comes up, like,
did he do that?
He hit me with the, and then he was like, Kisuke, he doesn't have a Japanese sword. He has a cane. And I'm like, yo, are you sure? I'm like, whoa, dude, slow down. You must get all the pussy out here, man. Like, come on, man. And then like as soon as I said that, he took a step back. I could see it in his mind. He was mad. He was like, oh, he thinks he's funny. Watch this. He was like, oh, did you see the new season of Bleach? I'm like, nah. He was like, oh, well, I don't want to spoil you something for you, but I'm going to tell you anyway. He does that as he's talking. I'm looking at him. I'm like, he got his hands down. I could probably just drop kick him in his stomach real quick, just punch him.
Yeah, some of these fans, these anime gamer fans, they get real crazy and nasty. And it's just like, bro, let people express themselves with the things that we love the way they need to. And it's not about you, like most people should just accept like, oh yeah, that's dope. I like how you switched it up with the sword, because sometimes you do look at these anime characters and you're like, dang, he would have been doper if he had two swords, or if he was able to do this ability. So then that's just us being creative, and like we love the character the way it is, but we also just get our own creativity brewing where we're like, oh, if this was this and that would have made the character even more dope. Especially since we watch so many different shows and different video games, and we kind of compare different characters to other anime characters or other gaming and characters, and we just get inspired by that, and we just make up our own interpretation of it in our minds, and then that's when you express it through cosplay.
Yeah, and newsflash, everybody, you don't own the anime property.
Do not.
If somebody wants to tweak it, do something different, let them be. It might be a dope concept, and a lot of people, also artists in general, they'll tweak something, make it different. Like, I don't know if you know who the Ozzy Virus is. I gotta show you some of his pictures, but they are some dope concepts, and they're not like regular, they're all unique. And if he was just somebody who was like, all right, I'm gonna make it exactly like that, one, you would get copyright. Exactly. You would definitely get trademarked for that. So, it's okay to be different. That's the problem with the world, you can't be different.
That's the society we live in. You can't be yourself. You can't be different. You can't be creative. It's just all these rules, and it's just like, bro, if we all do the same thing, then it would be boring. And I even tell myself that as a chef, like with even making anime-inspired food, because there's lots of chefs all over the world who make anime-inspired food. So I had to find my own way of making it unique for myself, and trying not to like compare myself to anyone else or try to do what they're doing. Everybody has their own unique style, and I think it should be expressed.
Now, do you collab with any other chefs?
Yeah, so I did collaborate with Chef Hyro back in May. We did a Food Wars battle, and he was Soma and I was Ikumi Mito from Food Wars, and we battled right on stage in his restaurant. We battled our jerk tacos. I have a taco on my menu called the Killer Bee jerk taco, and he had jerk tacos on his menu, so we battled those, and I won.
Oh, shout out Chef Hero. We're gonna confirm that if he won or not.
I still got the receipts, the little votes.
Okay.
Yeah, I can drop that video.
Yeah, let's see.
But anyways, we're getting ready to battle again on the 21st, and this time we are battling our hibachi. Mine's is called the Itachi Hibachi, which I already told you about. Mm-hmm. So hopefully I beat him again.
And where's that going to be at?
His restaurant. And
where's that for everybody who doesn't know?
Columbus, Ohio. Yeah.
Okay, if anybody going out to Columbus, definitely check this event out. What time you guys starting?
We are doing the battle from 3 to 5, and then later on that same evening, we have Obi-Wan Shinobi hosting his Glotaku party, and he got some really, really dope performers coming through. One of them is a friend of both of ours, Crazy 8 the Great, and he makes anime-inspired music.
Definitely got a shout out, bro, and the nerdcore scene.
Absolutely.
And, also, what is a Glotaku anyway?
So Glotaku, Obi and I kind of started around the same time when we were doing like pop-ups. Like I was selling my anime-inspired food, and then he started throwing anime cosplay parties. And we kind of just fused and joined forces because I was like, it makes sense for us to work together. We got the same fans, You're doing the cosplay party. I'm dressed in cosplay, serving anime-inspired food for your guests. So let's work together. And it's been about like 2-3 years now we've been working together, and he has cosplay contests. He's playing rave music. Everyone's dressed in costumes and just having a good time.
I know they do have a good time. The rave music, I really can't get jiggy with it. Like that should be, but hey, shout out to them though. But what's next for Maki? Like, what's going to be your next plan?
Right now, like everybody's like, when is your next event? Because I was just like all year long just doing pop-up events. Like I went to Philly and worked with HAG Entertainment doing Blurred Bash. I did one in Cleveland, Ohio with them. And I just been kind of like traveling all over and just doing my pop-ups. But now I'm kind of like in a place where I'm working more on my vegan recipes and perfecting them, making them better, and just seeing where that goes. I do want a restaurant still, I think. But I just don't want to feel like work. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm enslaved to do it. I love what I do, and I don't want it to ever feel like work. And I feel like if I had a restaurant that was open every day, I would lose the love for cooking. So if I do get a cafe, it would be only open on specific days. And I need my weekends. I love to travel. I love to travel. That is probably my ultimate dream.
I know that's my problem. I'm tired. I travel too much. That's why
yes, more than me.
I know that's why like I'm so sporadic with this, but I'm gonna calm it down a little bit, especially with my issues. Now, you couldn't just hire people and put everybody on. And
I know, but I feel like I know for a fact that I've never been the type of chef that wants a chain of restaurants, because I just want one restaurant that I can give all my love to and know that my energy will always be there. And I helped a friend open up a restaurant before this past year. And what I noticed is that she wasn't really there much. And she kind of put me in charge, which I also didn't want to do. And it started making me hate what I do, because I had to manage people. And then I noticed that the people that she hired, they weren't caring about her business. She was getting upset customers because they were used to how she does things. They were used to the food tasting the way she makes it. So when she's not there making the food and you got other people doing your recipes, it don't taste the same, because people don't understand that energy transfer is real and it comes out into the food. So they were used to her energy being in the food. It tasted perfect every time she made it. So when someone else is making it, they're like, it don't taste the same. And then you got upset customers that don't want to come back there because they're like, well, she's not there anymore and the food don't taste that great. And I don't ever want that to happen with my restaurant. So I feel like if I can't be there, enough to where my energy in the restaurant stays the same and my food tastes the same, then what is the point? Like, people just think about money and they're just like, I just want a restaurant. I want to hire staff to handle it for me while I'm just benefiting off the earnings. And then I'm like, but that's supposed to be your craft. So why are you not there? Yeah. Now it's a chain. And you think about these chains, like for Chipotle and stuff, for instance, how these chain restaurants, they get all these bad things happening with the food and people getting sick. But, they're a corporate company, so they survived. But they also still built a bad rep, for making people sick. But people still eat there. But I just don't. It's just not for me.
And that's definitely a great way to do things, because if you get caught up in the money, eventually you're going to hate what you do. And then it will just reflect in your business. And then you'll end up doing something dumb that's going to cost you the long run. Now, content-wise, what can people look for in the future?
My content right now is just kind of showcasing what I've been going through this past year with changing the way I eat, and showcasing what has it done for me, like mentally, physically, spiritually, because a lot of people were very curious. They're like, you're so different now. I'm like, well, yeah, I stopped eating poison. These poisonous foods was making me be toxic and making me think toxic. And now that I'm off those unhealthy foods, you're seeing this lighter, more uplifting version of me. And it's because I'm eating food that gives me life. So like now I just feel like my goals are to perfect these recipes and eventually get a cafe to where I can heal the community through my food, inspire them to work on getting to their higher self, and just enjoy life. Life is what you make it. We're supposed to be enjoying it. We're supposed to be inspiring each other. We're supposed to be creating. We're supposed to be good examples for the children that's coming up behind us. And I feel like if you are not living life within the best version of your higher self, then what are you doing? These jobs are always going to be here. The money might not always be there, especially what's going on in the world right now.
Yeah, that is true.
If we're not making change, it's just going to be the same stuff happening over and over. Just like in Naruto, where the elders were destroying other villages and causing chaos. And, Naruto and Pain were come at each other because Pain was like, y'all destroyed my village. Y'all killed my peoples. So I'm going to do to y'all what y'all did to me. And Naruto's like, no, it doesn't have to be like this. We can talk no jutsu. And I promise that I will find a peaceful way for us to all coexist. And that's what I really love about that show, is that, we don't have to keep this vicious cycle going where we're just eating poison. Our kids are just growing up and doing worse than what we did, you know, we can provide the change and lead the way for them to be better. But it takes a community to do that.
I know you could have said it took a village, and I would have definitely been
I was going to say
there.
a village, but we are so much bigger than a village.
Oh yeah,
We are global, worldwide. We all got to be on the same page, because if you look at it like just a village, then, you know, us over here in America or them over there in Africa, if we're changing and they're not changing over there, it's just a small speck, small dent. So we all got to get on the same page to make this change happen.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And last question before we get up out of here, where can everybody find you at?
Right now, my name is goddess_Maki, and that's on TikTok and IG. I don't like Facebook, and I hate Twitter.
Oh yeah, Facebook's definitely the hood. Like, you going there, it's crazy
It's
over there.
It's just family on there being judgy.
Man, my Facebook is wild. Can we get that cookbook next year?
I will try to work on it. I'm going wherever life takes me right now. And if it takes me to making a cookbook, then I'll do it.
All right, man. Y'all heard it. It's JG. It's Maki. And like that, we out.